My fiancé's estranged family reached out and asked me to help them fix their relationship with him. Me, 28F, and my fiancé, 34M, have been together for 4 years now. He was in a previous marriage before we met that ended in divorce because his ex-wife had a long-term affair. During their marriage, my fiancé was diagnosed with cancer and went through a very tough battle. During that time, his family found out that his wife was cheating on him through a third party, but they didn't tell him because he was very sick. They basically hid the truth from him and let his ex-wife be around him. My fiancé thankfully won his battle, and towards the middle of his recovery, his ex-wife came clean because she felt guilty. She told him that she wanted to come clean before, but his family convinced her to keep quiet for his sake. My fiancé felt betrayed by both his wife and family. When he got better, he divorced and eventually moved away from the city his ex-wife and his family lived in. He very rarely speaks to his family, maybe 2 to 3 times a year, and they tend to be very short and superficial conversations. His relationship with his family is very strained and practically non-existent. I've never met any of his family members for the entire time we've been together. They haven't come to visit, and he hasn't gone to visit them. Today, I revived a message on Facebook from what seems to be his older sister. I have no idea how she found me, but she seems to know about my fiancé and I being engaged. Long message short. She asked if I could help reunite my fiancé and his family. She talked about them maybe flying to our city and asked if I could somehow get my fiancé to meet them. I haven't responded to her. I don't know if I should. She explained why they didn't tell him about his cheating wife. According to her, they didn't want to bring any more suffering and pain, which I somehow get. I'm not saying that I agree with what they did or would do something like that. I also very much get and respect how my fiancé feels. Even before the whole cheating thing, my fiancé said he's had other problems with his family in the past. It seems he's always had a difficult relationship with his family. Basically, I wanted to ask, what do you guys think I need to do? Do I try to help them, or do I just ignore his sister's message? I think that sometimes in life we might need others to encourage us into doing something we don't want to, because it could ultimately benefit us further down the road. But at the same time, we shouldn't force people into doing just anything. Edit. I am going to tell him about the message regardless. He's coming home later this evening, and that's when I'll tell him. I just wanted to beforehand get advice on whether I should encourage him to reconsider the situation if he initially says he doesn't want to do it, or should I not say anything if he says no and drop it forever? You talk to your fiancé first and let him decide what he wants to do with his family situation. Edit. Responding to your edit, I would not try to encourage him to reconnect. His family is still going behind his back to manipulate him. This time they're using you. Per edit. Just show him the messages and let him tell you how he wants to handle it. More things went on than what happened with the ex, and you don't know what they are. He lived it. He decides, and it's his family. Follow his lead and love him. Let him decide how to handle it. I haven't spoken to my mother in over 20 years, and I would be livid if my husband tried to convince me to reconsider that, and doubly so if I found out that the reason was because she wanted him to. His family is lying and manipulating, and now they are using you. Tell your fiancé, but you should be neutral. I get it. In your mind, family is family, but if he said they always had a somewhat problematic past, chances are the last incident was the straw that broke the camel back. People think you have to get hit as a kid by your parents to be considered abused. But emotional abuse is a thing. You never talked in deep about his family with him. So what if they are truly horrible people? Don't assume every family is per se a loving place. Obviously your fiancé isn't loving his parents. Perhaps because they aren't loveworthy. I also very much get and respect how my fiancé feels. You say this. But then you say, I think that sometimes in life we might need others to encourage us into doing something we don't want to. No, you don't. You don't know these people or his experiences and pain involving them. If he says, no means no. In life, no means no. You respect him to consent or not consent. He doesn't want to see them. You say, okay, I wanted you to know about the message, and move on. It's not your decision to force him into something he's long ago decided he doesn't want. His family wants to use a stranger to manipulate someone they emotionally devastated while I faced potentially dying. They don't sound like great people. Tell him they contacted you. Let him know you would not engage with them in that way against his wishes. But that if he ever changes his mind, you will support him however you can. Whatever you do, don't let it seem like you are helping them behind his back. However well-meaning it may seem to you, that will result in another divorce for him. If it were me, I'd show him the message right away and ask him how he would like for you to respond. After all, it's his family. Plus he is already upset about people keeping information from him. So don't keep this from him. Considering his past trauma, you probably want to err on the side of disclosure. I just have to add, his family ought to know better. Sneaking behind his back and lying is the exact thing he's mad about. And now they are doing it with you. Trying to manipulate him through you. There's probably a good reason he's low contact with them. They have no problem just going behind his back. Don't be the second partner he has that colludes with his family to do something he wouldn't want. I'm glad you're going to tell him about these messages. But my first sentence is general advice if you hear from any additional family in the future. That would include telling them about his life. If he wanted them to know things, he has the ability and capacity to let them know. I also would not attempt to build any relationships with his family. Because details about you could be extrapolated into details about him. Basically, anyone with a strained familial relationship can feel very wronged by a partner that in any way does or appears to go behind their back because it feels like a lack of acknowledgement of what they went through. They are being manipulative. That says a lot. Stay out of it. He's already told you that there are other issues that occurred other than their failure to inform him about his cheating ex. You love and respect him? Then love and respect him enough to accept that he knows his own mind. Tell him about the contact and what they want you to do, and let him know it's not your business, and you will back him up with whatever decision he makes. Too many relationships have blown up because one partner failed to respect boundaries when it came to the other partner's family. When your partner is low or no contact with someone, especially family, your job is to support their decision and be an ear if they need it. They are in charge of managing their family relationships, and they are the ones who know who they need to remove from their life for their own mental health. It is not the job of someone who has very little of the information to make any recommendations or judgments. Telephone him what they did, and telephone him support whatever decision he makes. You cannot be given a description which will give you even a fraction of the understanding of someone's past relationships that they have from having lived them. Don't be another person who betrays him because you think you know what he wants better than he does. Tell your fiancé about his sister contacting you. It's up to him to decide what he wants to do. He might never want to let these people back into his life. And that's fine. So you're saying the exact behavior they did to make him alienate them, they want you to conspire and do the same with them. This is ridiculous. Everyone here is an adult. If your future husband wants a relationship, it's up to him Tell him what she asked and ask him what he wants to do, then respect it. The last thing you want is to be involved with the very behavior he seeks to avoid. Under no circumstances help his traitorous family, as they made their choice and now must lay in the bed they made. Never get in the middle of your partner's estrangement from his family. It'll blow up in your face and cause major issues for you both. Tell him about the message and follow his lead, and don't pressure him one way or another. Good luck. They're trying to repair their relationship with him by circumventing his agency in the situation, which is why he was mad with them in the first place. They went around him and left him out of the decision-making. He might be more pissed now. No, do not facilitate contact from these people. I guarantee you that. To your partner, this is the same kind of thing that they were doing before regarding his ex while he was undergoing cancer treatment. There is a lack of respect for him in all of these actions. Tell this woman that he will contact them when and if he wants to work on those relationships in the future. And let her know that you are not to be used as a tool to get back into his life. And block her and any others who pop up. Then tell your partner exactly what happened and let him know that you shut it down. Edit. Spelling. TBH, if it was me I would have told him, and if he wants to see his family, text the sister and let them try their hardest and think he doesn't know about the plan. What they did wasn't cool. Sick or not, everyone deserved the truth. Just let him decide. Tell your fiancé that his sister reached out to you. Do it ASAP. The last thing he needs is to feel you kept something about his family from him. From there, it's his decision. Be his sounding board. Show your fiancé the message from your FSIL. He needs to know what they have planned. Being ambushed by family that you don't want to see can be incredibly traumatic and can further deteriorate the relationship. The family doesn't get to decide when or if your fiancé will ever completely re-establish the relationship they want. The family betrayed your fiancé and hurt him more than just telling him the truth. They were a part of his ex-wife's betrayal by not disclosing what they knew when they found out. They betrayed him. They conspired together to withhold important information from him, preventing him from making a major decision about his marriage and life. He walked away from them because they took away his right to decide, and now they are asking you to also take away his right to decide. They have not learned their lesson. They are now asking you to conspire with them against him, just like they did with his ex-wife. Don't be a fool. Tell him about the message and let him decide. Just tell him you've received a message from his sister. Show him the message. He will tell you how he feels after he reads it. Tell him you'll support his decision, and that's it. Don't say you understand them. Nothing. Let him be.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.